Welcome to week 4 of the Masterclass. You are in the home stretch. We are talking about a very, very, very important time for your vlog. Even though it may seem like, okay, we've got all the hard stuff taken care of, well, there's hard stuff making the video, and then there's other hard stuff, which is keeping the video successful and getting it off the ground and building a community. So that's exactly what we're talking about, especially in this module for this section. We're going to be talking about that community building. What does that look like? That helps you become a boss vlogger. It's no secret that this masterclass has been very focused on the YouTube platform. And yes, there may be other areas of the internet that you want to have a successful vlog. That is absolutely fine. But one really big thing to think about is the context of those different platforms, especially when it comes to actually getting awareness for your videos. Every platform is so different. You really need to know what the user experience is for each of them to really be in the shoes of your potential viewer. You're never going to get them as a viewer if you don't truly understand what it's like to be them when they encounter your videos. We've already gotten acquainted with who they are as individuals so we can make them the best content. Now we have to understand what the process is for them to find your content and watch it, and then get hooked on it and stick around for a long time. Let me break this down a little bit. Let's talk about YouTube specifically. I have had content on YouTube that has been years old. Years, not weeks, not months, not days. Years old. Begin to have some chemistry happening with how people are searching for things and how relevant the topic is, and suddenly take off. I would not have known in the first, year, but let's just say first couple of days, what we're usually paying attention to when we launch a video. I would not have known in those first couple of days that that video was going to be a massive success. So you might think that, the views didn't come in the first couple of days, so I'm not going to try because it's a dud. That is never the case. It is never totally dead. Has so much potential down the line. You can never give up on it in the early stages, even if, let's say, it's not getting very much attention. You have to do everything in your power to change that, to set the video up for potential success weeks, months, or years from now, to start taking off and getting more traction and more momentum from YouTube sources, referral traffic or search traffic or some sort of suggested chemistry that's happening with the algorithm. Just because you don't get a viral sensation, not that that's what we're shooting for here, but you don't get it in that first week doesn't mean it could never happen, which is why YouTube is so special, and which is why your launch strategy for every single video is so incredibly important. I'm very passionate about this topic. It's something that, every single day, I am learning from YouTube how crazy that Wild West platform can be. Just when I think I know and it's so predictable, things vastly change. I went like a 2-year span on YouTube getting the same number of subscribers per month, and it never seemed to change. And I would try new things, and I would try other things, and I would test it out, and I'd pull back what didn't work, and I would go all in on what did, and eventually just that number out of nowhere can quadruple or quintuple. And it is absolutely crazy because when that happens, you have to go even faster all in so that you can continue with the momentum. So what does that mean for your video today? You don't have much of a following, or you do and you're just trying to improve. I understand that you're thinking, okay, Amy, honestly, unrelatable right now. Unrelatable. But here's the thing. It is relatable if you truly believe that this platform can work. Unreal what persistence and effectively promoting yourself can do. And this is coming from someone, and we're having a heart-to-heart now about promotion of oneself, that does not promote herself that well. I just simply look at, if I were my viewer, what would they expect of me? How would they expect to hear about my videos? How would they expect me to talk about my videos? Similar to how I talk in my videos, how do I make this whole brand fit everywhere that I am? So even if you're like, Amy, I'm not that good at promoting myself, it doesn't mean that you're not good at marketing your brand. So that's what we're truly doing here. Start wrapping your mind around that instead of getting all like, ew, what are the tips and tricks of social media? Because like otherwise I'm feeling a little bit gross about marketing. You have to get past that because it's not the same thing. You might think it's like, hey, my name's Amy, watch my stuff, watch my stuff, watch my stuff. It may feel like that a lot of the time, which is how you know you're doing it wrong. If you're doing it right, you truly understand why what you're doing is valuable to your viewer, which means you're still in section 1 if you have not got that worked out in your mind yet. And now you're simply presenting it to them in a way that they would want so that they will jump in with both feet, press play, and take notes. So again, breaking this down to a basic level, here's something you need to know about YouTube. The analytics, if you've ever had the luxury of having robust analytics on YouTube that you can kind of dig around and try to look for trends, if you're just getting started, this is not something that you know about or have looked at, and therefore you have no idea that the first 24 hours or so, 24 to 48 to be safe, YouTube analytics actually have no idea what they're really doing. They really, like, it's unbelievable how behind the curve they are on their own analytics. I don't know why. It's just bizarre. But if you actually look, let's say you launched a video today, the best analytics for you to look at would be the real-time analytics. And those are going to show you literally real-time what's happening. So when I say YouTube has no idea what's going on, they do, but they're not ready to put it in print for you. And when I say in print, I mean the very structured analytics that they offer you in the rest of this section of Creator Studio. Real time is just a couple of metrics here and there to give you a feel for where's the traffic happening right now and how, and what videos are working, etc., etc. So that if you see a spike or momentum, you can go, holy crap, something's happening right now, and then maybe you need to do a follow-up video to that. All that in mind, if YouTube truly doesn't know for a fact what's happening with your videos for the first 24 to 48 hours, it's waiting to make sure that the data is right before it puts it in your reports. And you'll know this because you won't be able to put your analytics on today's date. You'll have to wait. It's like 2 days back that you can pull your earliest reports. That's how we know. Then that means in those first couple of days, you can really help YouTube try to figure out how your video's doing, which means this is the most critical time for you to promote your content. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be promoting it for days, weeks, months in the future. If your video is very useful, you should be letting the whole world know about it for a long time, especially if it is very evergreen, meaning it's not news that died yesterday. But that first 24 to 48 hours is very important. Some creators, depending on how big your traffic is, and it doesn't mean that the metrics have to be at a certain level. It just sort of has to do with critical mass, right? Because if you only have so many people following you somewhere, it could be your email list, it could be Twitter, it could be subscribers, whatever it is. If you only have so many people following you, when you ask them to do something, there's an exponential amount of time that it'll take. If you have a lot more people following you, the action you ask to be taken will be taken by quite a few of those people right away, and then everyone else over a period of time. If you have a small following, they only take that step as soon as they maybe see it. And if you only have 10 subscribers, they may not, literally all 10 of them, not see it for 2 days. And so you're not going to see any results right away. But those people with critical mass can really start to see in the real-time analytics, how are things doing in the first 60 minutes of a video? How are things going in the first 48 hours of a video? And that's what those real-time analytics are great for. I'm telling you all of this because, first of all, you are here because you trust that I have valuable information for you when it comes to promoting your content. But you cannot measure what is success and what is not unless you see what in the heck is going on and you have something to measure in the first place. So for instance, once I kind of got to a point where I knew, I was like, oh, okay, cool. When I press the publish button, I get 200 views in the first hour. That first hour of your content is big when you have subscribers because in theory, YouTube is letting your subscribers know that your video is live and they will come in. So that's why we talk about that first 60 minutes. But then there's all the other platforms that are helping you push it out as well. And you want to make sure that you're tracking and getting the most traction. And now today I can say I've progressed from that point because in the first 60 minutes I get significantly more views than I used to. And that has to do with a larger critical mass of subscribers coming in during that first hour. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? I am not good at math, but there is something about measurable growth that gets me really, really excited. And I think that this is something you should be nerding about too, because it's like literally telling you if you've become a success in certain ways or not, because you need to know. If not, it's not worth crying about. It's just like, fix it and then go do something else. I love that. I love hacking that. So the reason I'm saying all this is it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have today. It doesn't matter how many subscribers you have tomorrow. What matters is that if you are serious about this, you treat it as seriously as someone else who's been doing this for a long time and has worked very, very hard for their following, whether it's 100,000 or 1,000,000 or 10 million. They had to go through a lot of this in order to get to the point that they are. No one, not a single person ever has been an overnight success. Even if a viral sensation has happened to someone, congratulations, did they know what to do with it? Usually not. You have to be as serious as a heart attack about launching your videos. And that's why I'm spending this much time on this. What is your game plan to let the world know I've got a new video out? It didn't happen on accident. I didn't press publish in the middle of the night when everyone was asleep. I have a very specific plan that when this video goes live, here's how I'm going to let the world know. I'm going to talk to you about some of those tactics today, but the reason I went on and on about this is you need to be taking this very seriously. It is so easy to spend your blood, sweat, and tears, every ounce of it, on making the video, like doing all this. I was testing new camera settings today and I just changed them because I want them to be better. My microphone's in a different place again because I know it can be better. I know that my lights are different or my lights are the same. Or there's so much energy that went into all of this, but none of it matters if no one watches. And they don't have to watch as soon as I press publish, but if they do, eventually we're getting somewhere. So just take the pledge with me today that you will be very serious about every video you launch on YouTube, because it may not be a viral sensation today, but it could be the game changer for your channel a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. It's possible. Every other platform, all the other places you want to vlog, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it, the likelihood that those videos have a long shelf life is slim to none. None of them have a good search strategy. All of them have to do with who's already following you and how that word of mouth progresses. And still, the videos die in a very short period of time. YouTube wants you to bring people to their platform for years and years and years and years to come. So they're not going to kill your content and lose that opportunity. So why would you? So let's talk about some of the social media that you may be taking into consideration as a helper to that momentum, because that's what most people really have going for them today. You've probably got Facebook, you may have Twitter, definitely thinking about Instagram, maybe it's LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. What assets online do you have right now that could potentially help you move the needle on a video when it comes out? One of my all-time favorites of forever and ever, and since the beginning, since my first YouTube channel was around, I've had is Twitter. And what I love about Twitter is it's a very conversational place. Whether it's for you or not, one of the things that I like to do before my video goes live is tease it. I'll do a couple of things. I might run a poll and ask, hey, do you have any care to see something like this? Whether or not I've actually made it, and plan to surprise them with it later. I love surprising people. It's what I live for. The other thing I like to do is let people know when I'm uploading or when I'm processing a video or if I'm getting it ready to go out. I like to get people excited because if they're already on Twitter at that moment, or if they're already on the internet at that moment, maybe they're ready to press play as soon as they see that notification come through, but I can let them know it's about to come through. So no matter where your social is, just round all of that up, right? So I have a Facebook brand page, I have Facebook groups, I have a Twitter, I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, I have a bunch of other stuff where this video content is going to be relevant. And I basically get assets ready, not just for my video, but for all of these spaces as well. I like to reuse my thumbnail quite a bit. So you'll see a lot of my content ends up getting shared with the thumbnail image. So I'll upload an image to Facebook, or I'll upload an image to Twitter and use the link straight to the video and make sure that that all goes out together. If I just share the link to the video, it's underwhelming on the newsfeed or the timeline, depending on where you're sharing it. And I like to make it look more interesting for each platform. Instagram stories, I have such a field day with. I have the swipe up feature, so that's really nice. And I guess it's only for certain accounts at this point. So if you have this, then I highly recommend it. But I will tease my video with a series of photos or videos in my Instagram stories and have them swipe up to go check it out. If you don't have swipe up, then just link to it in the bio. You can also do a traditional post. One thing you could do is actually post like a 15-second teaser from the video as an Instagram post and let them know the link is in your bio. That's a great idea as well. There's a million different ways that you could post on social media. The bottom line is go and use them as the average user and say, how do people like to see stuff here? How do people usually see videos? How do they usually see content? How do they decide to click? That's how you should be acting with your content. That's how you should be sharing it. So take a look at that and get it ready. Just get the game plan ready. How many, do I need extra images that I need to create? Do I need different images? Do I need to cut my video up differently? Do I need to export something shorter and share that somewhere? Have that plan. Make your own checklist to add on to the Vlogboss checklist so that you can mark all of those things as done and be ready to launch them, because you need to bust them out all together. I post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever I can in the context of those platforms in a way that's nice for those people to see it as soon as the video is live. I can't just depend on YouTube to tell my subscribers. I need to let everyone I know. The next thing, and we talked about this in your checklist, how important it is for that call for response, and that's in your YouTube comments, having people leave a comment in your videos. Once your video does go live, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you hang out in your comments. Let's say you get one comment. If you reply to it, that's two. YouTube saw your video go from one comment to 2 comments. I'm telling you, the amount of time I spent talking to my YouTuber friends and they were like, I don't have time for the comments. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Literally, this platform exists because we start a conversation. We don't start and end it. We start it and they help us finish it. That's why we call for response. So if you don't actually spend time in the comments, you're in trouble because you're losing a lot of momentum you could have if you did engage those viewers for a couple of reasons. One, YouTube wants to see that you actually give a crap. But 2, they're probably just looking at how many comments there are, and you could easily be doubling your number. And 3, your viewers want to know that you're going to talk to them. They want to know that you're not just going to drop the mic and bounce. You have to engage in the comments. So if you can, stick around those comments for the first couple of hours of your video. If you can't do it that easily, at least have that Creator Studio app. Makes it so easy to reply to comments on the go. I try to stick around for the first hour of the video because I get a decent amount of traffic in that first hour. So I like to let those people know that they did me a solid by having notifications turned on and coming and watching my videos right away, right when they start. So I like to pay them back for that. But then I'll go back a couple hours later and the next day and really try to make sure that I'm staying refreshed in those comments. Another thing you can do is pin comments in your videos. So if someone said something that you would love, even if you didn't reply to it, you can pin it to the top of the feed and that person feels really special. That's a great way to engage your viewer. And also you're letting YouTube know like you're doing more things with the video. There's more activity happening here. Any synapses firing around your video is a good thing. Another thing I like to do is share my YouTube comments outside of YouTube. So I'll screenshot one and share it on Twitter with like crying, laughing face because it cracks me up so much. It just reminds people like, look at the conversation that's happening with my videos. Have you seen them yet? We're having so much fun. The last thing I want to talk about in community building is the ability to grow organically, and that is with collaboration. There was a time on YouTube when I really thought that all you had to do to grow was convince someone to make a video with you. And I still didn't do it because I was like, that's too much work. I think I'll just do it myself. And now, because of how busy the internet is and how many people there are using it and creating vlogs and sharing their vlog screen with someone else, viewers are getting even more picky about who even their influencer offers their social proof to. So that being said, you should really be conscious of who you're asking to do a collaboration with. It can't just be anyone. It cannot just be anyone. Just because some 2 billion subscriber YouTube channel goes, I like you, we should collaborate. If they are not a fit, let's say because you have a children's channel and they smoke a lot of cigarettes and drink a lot of whiskey on their channel, you can't say yes to that. Like, it's not okay. And that might be an extreme example, but there are people collaborating with extreme examples that offers zero to little value for their community, and yet the creator did it because they thought the numbers were going to be there. So just keep in mind that when you collaborate, it doesn't matter if it's with another creator, another brand, a sponsor, it doesn't matter what it is. It has to be a fit. It has to be a fit. You have to be your own bouncer of the red velvet rope policy, as Michael Port would say. And if they do not fit the mold, if they do not fit your community, you have to say, like, sorry, bruh, you cannot come in. This is not for you. And I can't risk my credibility as a creator to my crew, my tribe, my community, just because I let you in and sort of like trounce all over everything. Not that people are trouncing, but you get my point. That being said, when the connection happens and it is a perfect fit, like a perfect fit, the results can be astronomical. Astronomical. Because again, let's say I'm having you on my channel right now. I am offering you the social proof I have built over almost 10 years of video creation. So when Amy says you've got to meet Joe, then Joe better be bomb, because I'm committed all of a sudden. Like, who are you invading our space here? You must be very important. You must be as valuable as Amy has been to me. And if you truly feel that way about someone or a product or a brand, whatever, then great. And it is going to take off because you have truly instilled that feeling in someone. It's very likely. Video connection is deep. It is so deep. So with that being the case, maybe you're thinking, I have found a couple of people that fit that mold. I think there's a really solid chance we could do good work together. What do I do? The first thing is treat them like you would like to be treated. What if that perfect fit was also your viewer? Why don't you start acting like their viewer? Engage in their comments, like their videos, share their stuff, start talking about them, recommending them on your channel with them not even coming on. If they are a little bit far-reaching, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But if there's someone that's like, oh my God, who is this person that's recommending me? I love her stuff and I would totally team up with her and do something, then you've really got a head start already. Treat someone as you would like to be treated before you go in for an ask. And when you go in for that first ask, don't ask. Do something else. Just say, I love what you've been doing. I wanted to let you know I've been telling my community about you because I just believe in it. Don't ask. Wait, have a conversation. This can happen on email, DM, wherever, at a coffee, I don't know. Just don't ask for anything until you have a great idea. And then convey that great idea as succinctly as possible. Do not over-explain yourself, because if you're not worth working with, no one's going to want to have to wait 3 paragraphs to find that out. So you might as well just get to the point. Especially if you've already primed who you're approaching, and let's say you're sending an email. Send an email and say, hey, I'd really love to share your message with my community. Why don't we do a cross-promotion collab, which means I'll come on your channel, you'll come on my channel, and here are the topics I think would be most relevant. Based on what I have learned about your audience, I think that they might find my topic on blah, blah, blah really interesting, and then give them that. And also, I heard you talk about this once to your community, and I think my tribe needs it very badly. So would you want to come on and talk about that? Have an idea. I promise you, most people get shut down because they send an email like, hey, here's 3 paragraphs about who I am. I like you. I think we should collaborate. Okay, great. Not happening. You have to give someone a really easy thing to say yes or no to. You want to get to the no fast. You don't want to be in a sure, holding pattern, because then it's like, sure, probably means like, I don't think so, because I don't have any ideas and I really don't know how this is going to work. Have a game plan. Next, realize that there's a lot of ways to collaborate. You don't have to be in California if someone is in California, so make sure that you convey that. Just say, hey, can you film this on your end and I'll film this on my end, and we can just swap footage and stitch it in there. We'll launch it on the same day at the same time and point to each other's videos. Bing, bang, boom. You don't have to be in the same place. If you are in the same place, then awesome. You can still have the same idea. You can still have the same launch plan. But remember, there needs to be a launch plan. Don't just collaborate with someone and not have a plan for that. Remember, we talked about this. It's very important. And again, you can collaborate in a lot of ways. You can collaborate without them knowing, meaning you talk about someone and point them in their direction, which means you don't get a lot of return for that, but it's still a great way to start. You can collaborate remotely and you can collaborate in person. So just keep in mind there's a lot of opportunities here. The last thing I want to say about this is do not leave their community hanging. If you collaborate with someone, you better be all up in those comments and all up in that social, just as if it were your own, because that is what's going to show people that you care what they think and you care that they actually move over and become a part of your tribe. That's a lot to dissect. That is only 1% of the things you could be doing to build your community. There's a lot of things you could be doing to build your community. But I think this is a really, really good start. And anyone who is creating videos now and far into the future with 100,000 subscribers, this is the minimum you should be doing. You may have spent a lot of time making your video, but you're about to find out what time is when you think about the promotion of your video. Now, this is where a lot of people give up. They give up because they're like, I'm not going to go through all that effort of making a video again because the last one didn't do well. Well, that's because you didn't put in the work to promote it. That's because you didn't put in the work to let someone know why it matters to them. That's your job. That's no one else's job. That's why so many people quit this. Are you a quitter? Huh? I didn't think so. That's all for this one. We're going to talk about monetization next. See you in the next module.